Hello, hello, hello. It's coffee time and we're doing the news. It's the Daily Mail website, blah, blah, blah. I've just opened it up. Top story, Philip Schofield's brother's jailed for 12 years for a slew of sex offences against a teenage boy that he groomed and became obsessed with. Again, this puts more pressure on This Morning presenter Philip Schofield. This is what the Daily Mail have been pushing all week. But nobody mentioned Philip Schofield and the runner on This Morning. Nobody mentioned that. Not allowed to mention that. So we won't mention that. We'll move along. We'll move along quickly. What else have we got? We've got more Just Stop Oil shenanigans. This is on London streets. 20 Just Stop Oil protesters with orange banners were slow marching, and one passerby had enough. Oof, that's an assault. Way, there you go. There you go. He wasn't too happy, was he? He wasn't too happy at all. What else have we got? What else have we got? This is the we've got some online fraud news. This is the mastermind behind online fraud shop iSpoof. Apparently, it helped generate £43 million from fraud victims worldwide when he's been jailed. Let's have a look at him. This is Tajay Fletcher. He founded the iSpoof website, and he was brought down in UK's biggest fraud sting. Yeah, they reckon that in total they've conned victims out of more than £100 million. And he was arrested next to his £230,000 Lamborghini. Yeah, he bought the Lamborghini, 2 Range Rovers worth £110,000, £11,000 Rolex after making what they reckon he made £2 million from the iSpoof.cc website. And he was the founder and leading administrator of the site, which was brought down last year in the UK's biggest fraud sting. Southwark Crown Court heard the victims across the world defrauded, with at least £43 million taken from people in the UK. The site offered scammers tools to disguise phone calls to be from trusted organisations such as banks, etc. And they earned £3.2 million in cryptocurrency. So that's all right, isn't it? Fletcher last month pleaded guilty to 4 charges, including making or supplying an article for use in fraud, encouraging or assisting commission of an offence, possession of a criminal property, and transferring criminal property between November 30th, 2020 and November 8th, 2022. And for that, Judge Sally Cahill jailed him for 13 years and 4 months, telling him that this was for all the victims. It was a harrowing experience. He rented an East London apartment which boasted views of the Royal Victoria Dock and city skyline. There you go. He did all right. Met Police reckon the iSpoof website was launched in December 2020 and had 59,000 active users at its peak, and they're all going nying, nying. So there we go. Remember, although crime doesn't pay, it does pay until you get caught. I think is that the lesson? Meanwhile, this is good. This is the story of an East London school that's convinced half of its GCSE students to give up TikTok, Snapchat and Instagram in order to boost grades. This is the Cumberland Community School in Plaistow in Newham. 160 of the students have agreed to delete their social media platforms and take part in compulsory revision sessions. Throughout May and June, those taking part will no longer have access to Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchats in the unusual social experiment. Many have also agreed to hand in their mobile phones while in school in a bid to boost their grades by avoiding any temptation or distraction. And here are 2 of the students, Amin Opayami and Dania Oleaji. giving up social media while sitting their GCSEs. There they are. What good kids. They're a lesson to us all. Give up social media, it's a poison. Even this. Turn off now and go and do something less boring instead. Yeah. Student Amin said, I already feel like it's helped me, and it's only been a few days. I've stopped procrastinating, checking my phone every 5 minutes while revising. Social media is highly addictive, so you can easily get sucked in. So there you go. There's a lesson to be learnt for all of us there, isn't there? Cast yourself free. What else have we got? Oh, some Philip Schofield stuff. Don't want to read that. Dog story. We've got a couple of dog stories. Scientists have found, right, that dogs with a golden coat are more prone to be aggressive. Yeah, this is experts at the Royal Veterinary College in London warned that one particular breed is not so friendly. Yeah, the English Cocker Spaniel. And like I said, they found those with a golden coat even more boisterous, with aggression prevalent across 12% of those studied. There you go. Look at him. He looks vicious. You'll have your leg off. Is there a list? I like it when there's a list. No, I just talked about Cocker Spaniels. But yeah, this is the aggression rate between different colours of Cocker Spaniel. See? Who knew it? The gingers are a bit aggressive, just like in real life. There you go. Who'd have thought it's by the colour of dog? I won't read the other story because it's about meanwhile, we have an update on a story. This was a story of parents of a disabled daughter. They left their 16-year-old daughter, Kaylee Titford, who her weight ballooned to 23 stone, and they basically left her to die in her own mess. Her mother, Sarah Lloyd-Jones, and Alan Titford have had their jail sentences increased. Yeah. Originally, the mother was jailed for 6 years and the father was jailed for 7.5 years. But today, Lord Justice Popplewell, sitting in with Mrs. Justice McGowan and His Honour Judge Bate, said at the Court of Appeal, the circumstances can only be categorised as extreme, with Kaylee was living in unimaginable squalor. So yeah, Sarah Lloyd-Jones will now spend 8 years in jail, while the father, Alan Titford, has had his sentence increased to 10 years. And here are those people's faces. Remember them. So yeah, that's good news. Increase the sentences. Meanwhile, another appeal has come through. This was the story of the disabled woman, Oriel Gray, who waved a cyclist off the pavement, and the cyclist then swerved into the path of a car and was killed. It was a very infamous case. Here's the CCTV footage of moments before the incident. There she is waving at the cyclist who was cycling on the pavement. Well, she's lost her bid to appeal the excessive 3-year sentence. Yeah, the disabled lady was actually sent to prison for 3 years, meaning that she's going to lose her home and her possessions because she's in a sheltered accommodation. But yeah, the Court of Appeal, Gray's lawyers argued that the sentence was excessive and that her autism diagnosis secured after a trial may have made a difference in the case. But Mr. Justice Griffiths, sitting in with Lord Justice William Davis and Judge Neil Flewitt, refused to grant permission for Gray to appeal against her sentence, concluding it was not arguably manifestly excessive. He said a blameless woman has been killed by an unlawful act of the applicant. with the devastating impact upon the family she left behind others, including an equally blameless driver. Now, again, she didn't push the woman. It wasn't a shared pavement, though there's debate to say it was. There wasn't signage. The signage was broken. There'll be people online that will argue with you, but if you actually go along there with on Google Maps, you'll see that there isn't any signage along that stretch of the pavement to indicate it's a shared pavement. Even the police and the local council said it wasn't a shared pavement, but the judge said it was. So again, I see it's a bit of an injustice, to be honest. I think she should have got a suspended sentence due to her disability, and there will be people who argue against me. Yeah, it's a tragic case, but hey, don't cycle on the pavement. I think that should be a thing anyway. I don't think cyclists should be on the pavement at all. So there you go, that's me. Speaking my brains. Meanwhile, let's cheer up a bit. Here's Joe Biden walking down some steps. Here we go. Whoa! There you go. Lay off the gin, Joe. Lay off the gin. Meanwhile, there's a fresh blow to Vladimir Putin because the UK we're banning Russian diamonds. That's going to make all the difference, isn't it? Yeah, apparently an industry which they reckon was once worth £3.2 billion in exports. We're going to ban them. So if you were thinking of buying some Russian diamonds, think again. This is Rishi Sunak. He's putting his foot down and banning the Russian diamonds. Have you bought any Russian diamonds lately? Leave a comment in the comments box below. No one ever does. They never do. Meanwhile, Starbucks, remember we talked about this before, didn't we? They've got the new olive oil based coffee. Well, it's landed in London. They're called Oleato. Here they are. They call them Oleato. There's three of them. The Oleato Golden Foam, cold brew, Oleato Ice Shaken Espresso, and the Oleato Cafe Latte. Now with the delicious taste of olive oil. Now, I like coffee and I like olive oil, but I'm not sure I want to combine the two. But they reckon it pushes the calorific value of the coffee skywards. And here you go. This is, you can see a normal one just jumps up to from 179 calories to 387, 175 to 323, and 140 calories to 244. And there they are. They're comparing it to, there's a comparison there to a Mars bar, hamburger, sausage roll. I mean, olive oil. So there you go. It's all right. So we've got to find any more. Just scrolling. Scrolling. Meanwhile, people were shocked because Ant and Dec. Who remembers Ant and Dec? Oh, it's little Ant and Dec. Oh, they're darlings of ITV and broadcasting in general. But they announced yesterday. Here they are. Remember, the drunk driver is the one on the left. Remember, he's the convicted alcoholic. They're stepping down from their Saturday night takeaway show, which is one of ITV's big shows. It's a big prime time show. But yeah, they announced yesterday that after the 20th series that's going to be on next year, that's 2024. I had to check the date for a minute there. They're going to be stepping back to catch their breath. So people are upset, are they? But yeah, it gets on average, as it before, but we're between 4 and 5 million viewers, which is quite good for a Saturday night show, I think. But yeah, maybe they're slowing down. Maybe they're slowing down. Meanwhile, it was announced that Andy Rourke from the Smiths has passed. He died of pancreatic cancer, age 59. Great shame. Again, his bass is all over those iconic Smiths tunes. But yeah, lots of people giving a tribute to him from the music industry. Meanwhile, an earthquake rattled New York. Yeah, I reckon a 2.2 on the Richter scale tremor was reported in the early hours of Friday morning, with the sound of a loud rumble. According to the United States Geological Survey, the earthquake struck around a mile southwest of Hastings-on-the-Hudson. Locals across the region took to social media to say they'd felt the quake, reporting a tremor in the Bronx to the south and in New Jersey across the Hudson River. Natalie Pasquarella, a reporter from WNBC News, asked her followers on Twitter, "Just woke up to a huge rumble. Our house shook in Bergen County. Anyone else?" At least she felt the earth move. So there you go. There was an earthquake. And this comes months after upstate New York was hit by a 3.8 magnitude earthquake in February, which shook Buffalo. There we go. Meanwhile, have you got a low libido, ladies? Have you got a low libido? Well, it's an issue that affects up to 40% of women. But they reckon that it could be a thing of the past thanks to a new therapy that experts from the University of Michigan have come up with. Do you want to know? Well, it involves putting 2 circular electrodes on the clitoris before delivering electrical impulses for 30 minutes. Do you fancy that, missus? Don't need it. But, yeah. Basically, you zap your genitals. During the test, the team showed that the method was effective in 5 women. Yeah, the other 30 women ran screaming from the room. And this included 2 ladies who had spinal cord injuries. Subjective arousal increased significantly from before to after stimulation, the team led by Elizabeth Bortorff wrote in their study. So yeah, did you know the clitoris contains 10,000 nerve fibres? 20% more than previously estimated. That's because male scientists have only just discovered it. But there you go. And this is the genital nerve stimulation trials. Here's the result. It looks like, again, looks a bit like a minimalist art, doesn't it, really? That's shocking. Apparently there's a disturbing new TikTok trend. Oh, do tell us about it. Where kids, I'm going to say, I guess it's kids, young people, are, well, basically entering people's houses without consent and recording the response of the residents. The Metropolitan Police investigate a disturbing new trend that has seen TikTok users storming houses. Now, again, there's not a lot to, I mean, there is a video, but they've kind of fuzzed it out, so there's not a lot to see, really. Look, I mean, it could be anything. It could be clouds going across the moon, couldn't it? We'll never know, but trust me, trust the Metropolitan Police, really. And yeah, the group walked through a back gate, ignoring a woman in the front garden before they let themselves into the London home. And the woman shouts at them, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" And yeah, they record the reaction of them harassing people. This goes to also there's a trend at our local school, sent a note about, where TikTokers are going into schools, unannounced, and we're kind of breaking an entry because a lot of schools around here are all gated up and secluded. You have to buzz in and out, and yeah, they're kind of breaking in and filming the response. Yay, TikTok, isn't it great? What else have we got? Oh, temperature set it to 21 degrees today. Didn't feel like it when we was out walking the dog this morning, did it, Mrs? Felt cold, and it was slightly raining. It was like walking through mist. What else have we got? Are there any other good ones? Not really. Oh, this is it. They reckon that supercomputers are coming. Yeah. This is a book. There's a new book by Michio Kaku called Quantum Supremacy, which everyone needs to read. You might remember him. He's a science professor that he's hosted lots of. You got to remember him. He did that thing about time, didn't he? Once. No, just me then. But yeah, he's talking about quantum computing. Dog cam. Dog cam. There you go. That's some dog cam. She's shook. That's a new book out. He reckons that quantum computing is 100 trillion times faster than an ordinary supercomputer. That's at the Quantum Innovation Institute at the Chinese Academy of Sciences. And that's what Kaku's book. Though the reviewer here says it's really an extended exercise in high-tech wish fulfillment, because it's a bit of a way off yet, but that is like the next step in computing. Meanwhile, got an update on I don't know what you call this. This is this is unfair dismissal news. Yeah. This is Chrissy Lickford. Here she is. She took an unfair dismissal case against Furville Clinic in Southampton. She was fired because her boss, Dr. Caroline Berry, was, well, what can you say, offended, because at a Christmas party, Lickford mocked a junior staff member's breasts, saying that they were droopier than her own. They hung lower than her own. And she was dismissed. She was accused of toxic behaviour and dismissed from the cosmetic clinic. Well, anyway, she took this this unfair dismissal to a tribunal, and today the judge ruled in her favour. Yeah, the judge said that there wasn't enough investigation, and it was ruled that Dr. Berry had acted too hastily in firing her, and the Southampton Employment Tribunal awarded her £12,000 unfair dismissal payout. So I suppose was that £6,000 a tit, isn't it? £6,000 a tit. So there you go. There you go. Meanwhile, we've got some dinosaur news. Whoop, if I can get my... There we go. Don't mind me. Right, big dinosaurs. Well, they found a massive dinosaur that roamed Argentina 100 million years ago. Of course, it wasn't Argentina then. It didn't have a name. And it was probably a different continent altogether because of plate tectonics and things shifting around. This new dinosaur is called, oh God, Chukarosaurus dirapienda, which means hard-boiled and scrambled. Eggs, all about eggs. And this, right, the bones were originally uncovered in the Pueblo Blanco Nature Reserve in 2018. And look, this gives you an idea of how big they are. And the bones were so big and heavy that the van that carried them away tipped over. Yeah. And here you go, somebody actually touching them, you can get an idea of just the size. Each bone weighed 100 kilograms, and the femur bone was over 6 foot in length, nearly 2 meters. So yeah, this is a really big dinosaur. And there's a little idea of what it might have looked like. Ooh. With Ooman standing next to him. There you go. That gives you an idea. So it's pretty tall. Pretty big. Pretty big dinosaur. But yeah, luckily, even though the bones fell off the lorry, they weren't damaged. That's good, isn't it? It's all right, isn't it? We have some buyer's remorse. This was originally featured on Buzz Plus, whatever that is, and it was stolen from Buzz Plus by the Daily Mail, and I'm going to steal it from them. So yeah, when you order the shirt and it says class of 2022 or something, don't put the or something part on the shirt though. It's one of those ones where everything's literal. Leave in the back garden if I'm not there. And they thought that part was for the personalised message. They bought a TV off eBay. And this is a little cat scratching post again. Got a danger of being crushed by the cat. Tiny little shoes. A little lamp for studying. Should have measured the... Oh my god! That's Grogu nightmare fuel. I'll have to show that one to the kids. I love that. And this one, he got the wrong size ladle. He wanted just a regular size one. And he went the opposite way. He got a really big ladle. Yeah. Yeah. No name socks. Yeah, don't put any name on it. He wants Kane, please, on his shirt. Oh dear. And that's that. That was a little detour, wasn't it? That was good fun. I think we've done enough. So I think we're going to end with our it's a sad story. This is the story, right, of a donkey, right, and this is the baby donkey called Baby Moon, with her mum. Ah, aren't they lovely? Right, but it's not a happy story, because they lived a field in Miller's Ark farm in Hampshire. Right, the farm's owner, Elizabeth Miller, went out on Monday and realised that Baby Moon was missing when she went to bring all of the mothers and foals back from the fields in the evening. And she's worried that the baby foal might not be strong enough to survive without her mother, named Astra. And Astra, the mum, she's not dealing with the separation. She's very distressed, and she's been braying and making lots of noise, and she's very, very upset that her baby has been stolen. So there's been a £10,000 reward offered for Baby Moon's recovery. And yeah, what a sad story. And there's a little picture of her. There we go. Ah, so let's hope they find Baby Moon okay. End on a sad story. Poor little donkey. We'll see if there's anyone in the chat. Probably isn't. There's only 5 people watching. There's nobody in. But we've got 4 likes. That's good. If you are out there, can you hear me? Thanks for watching. And we'll do this all again soon. That's it. There's only one more thing left to say. Killing the channel. 1 video at a time. That was the news. Drink it up.